Alright, well, anyway, let's watch this video.
Our disagreement is just that when you say two states, you actually mean two states, but one when Hamas isn't in power, because if they're in power, they will have a military now, and then they'll aggress against Israel. Okay.
I mean, two states with mutual recognition, which is what Resolution 242 says. Yeah.
Okay.
Is that so much to ask?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, by the way, I just want to say, like, literally every single military organization and government around the world will always say, yeah, if you give me these completely unreasonable agreements, we will offer peace. Literally every government and organization does this. Like you could probably find something within ISIS and like other Taliban and whatever that says, like, if you all we want is a peaceful Islamic jihadist state. Okay, like, I promise you they'll insert the word peace in there somewhere. Okay, like, you're really gonna be fooled by something like that? No, fuck that shit, dude. Fuck off. What the fuck? Show it through your actions. Right? Yeah.
No, why?
I'm an anti-Zionist. What do you mean?
Oh, no,
Like just look at the Budapest Memorandum, right? Like, you have, like, the United States and Russia, like, promising to, not be crazy on Ukraine, right? Not written down, obviously, which is the problem. But, like, fuck, it's just like you have every heinous country in the world promising to be a good person. So,
Right.
just makes no sense.
maybe I'm not sure. Maybe I'm ignorant. Zionist. When you say Zionist, what do you mean, Katie? I'm just really curious.
Like, fuck, yeah, we can just point out the
I
Budapest
said I'm an
Memorandum. Fuck.
anti-Zionist.
Yeah, but okay. What's a
Very,
Zionist?
very, very
Find out
brave.
what you're against.
Extremely grave.
Zionism.
It's funny because what she said there is accurate. I just don't understand how you can then apply that to Hamas, which is not a official organization or country. It is a terrorist organization, according to our country.
As far as I address
So-
it, is basically a support for the
fuck are you
Jewish
saying?
state of Israel, so the ethno-state of Israel on Palestinian land.
Like,
Okay, so
yeah,
it's still-
Israel makes peace deals that they then turn around and break all the time. All the fucking time. I believe they've done it like over 900 times at this point. Like, why don't you talk about that? Why don't you mention that, Foodshops?
Historical Palestine.
I think I
Prime interrupted you. Prime interrupted you.
Well, you had
No.
Polly, but
Well, again, I'll ask Leonard Box and Tali. Ceasefire earlier this year between Hamas and Israel. Who broke that ceasefire?
Technically, they both did, but obviously Israel was on the end of it.
Israel unilaterally ended that. Okay, Tali, who ended that?
No, we only want uranium enriched for weapons grade for really, really great reactors. Yeah, just tell that to the Russians, okay? Last time they had a reactor turn into Chernobyl.
Sure, Israel ended it, but again, this idea that, like, Hamas
Okay, great, so-
observes
Wait,
the
Prime,
ceasefire.
sit down.
so then-
I also want to, before we continue in the video, I want to call attention to the title. Okay, granted, we don't know, we haven't watched the video yet, we don't know the context, okay, but keep in mind, she's calling this person that's talking right now a self-hating Israeli Jew in the title. That's what she is calling this person. I suspect that the reason she is calling him a self-hating Jew is because he's a Jewish Israeli that, probably there aren't a lot of Israelis that, are, like, super woked up about this issue, okay? So I don't know how, like, woke he'll be, but, he probably doesn't like the current Israeli regime. He may even acknowledge the genocide. I don't know, but we'll see. Let's see.
What happened just before what
Sorry, technically USSR, okay, Chernobyl, okay, whatever, close enough. All right, whatever.
happened just before the end of the ceasefire?
I don't know what you're going to be referring to, so you don't just tell me.
Israel also, there have been ceasefires in this war that Israel maintained the ceasefire even when Hamas
Yeah,
started
so
shooting rockets
in-
at Israel during the ceasefire. So this idea that,
Also-
that Israel is the one that we can't.
Isn't there hundreds of thousands of Palestinians in Israel proper? Yes. you're right,
Israel's,
okay. And if any,
but they break the ceasefire every time. What the fuck are you talking about? Hamas has never violated a ceasefire. That is insanity. They've never violated it first. Okay, what happens is Israel violates the ceasefire, and then they're like, usually they're like, the ceasefire is like null and void, fuck you. Sometimes they're like, yeah, like the ceasefire is still going, even though we just fired on you. So if you retaliate, then the ceasefire is over. That's how it works, okay? So the ceasefire only applies to one party. That's the way it
proven
is.
that they're not genocidal towards Palestinians, no? Right? Because remember, okay, this is a point that is always against, Israel, like, made against Israel, but they will never, ever have any kind of way to refute it, okay? If Israel was conducting a genocide against the Palestinians, would they or would they not have already started or in the process of eliminating all the Palestinians in Israel? No, apartheid doesn't count. We're talking about genocide, okay? No, voting rights do not count. We're talking about genocide, all right? Genocide.
Were there Jews living in Europe during the Holocaust? Yes. Yes, there were. There were Jews outside of concentration camps. First of all, there were Jews that were hiding, okay, obviously. And second of all, there were Jews that lived in ghettos. Okay, there were ghettos all around Europe for Jewish people. Now, I use this as an example because I want to make it obvious that just because Palestinians live in Israel doesn't mean Israel isn't doing a genocide against Palestinians. And I don't know why she's still stuck on this. Like, we had a debate like last week or like the week before or some shit. I don't know. I can't remember. Time is an illusion. But yeah, we had a debate and she brought this up and I completely refuted it. I was like, that is ridiculous. Just because Palestinians live in, the core, Israel proper. Just because they live there doesn't mean they're not getting genocided in Gaza. So yeah, it's stupid. It's a stupid fucking argument. It's so fucking stupid.
Okay.
And by the way, in case you're wondering, Palestinians, they don't just like live in Israel proper with all the other Israelis and it's like they all like lock hands and sing kumbaya. They live in what are called the Arab quarters. The Arab quarters, okay? That's where they live. And they are I don't know if I would call them ghettos. I would call Gaza a ghetto. But they're like, I think my understanding is that they're decent neighborhoods. They're okay. However, Israelis are constantly saying that it's dangerous to go there. It's dangerous to go to the Arab quarters. Okay, why? Because Arabs are, savage, dangerous people that want to, harm us or whatever. And then you go there and you realize that, like, oh, they're just like, normal people living here in the Arab quarters. But yeah, I mean, it's extra funny that she brings this shit up because it like, when you talk about that, it's like so obvious how fucking racist the average Israeli is. Okay, like go and ask an Israeli person about the Arab quarters, about the Palestinians living there. See what they have to say about them. Okay, you're going to hear some unhinged shit if you do that.
None of the other
For
stuff.
real.
Just genocide, all right? But yeah, it's just... they have no excuse. Okay, just FYI, they have literally no excuse for it, okay?
Trust to maintain.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying that
The
both.
agreement here is
To be clear, what I actually
Also, fuck, right? Like, when I debated that one guy, like, he said the Palestinian genocide started in 1940-something, right? Fuck, I mean, I guess the Israelis must be really fucking bad at genocide.
That was me.
It must be the slowest fucking genocide.
Yeah, she said that. And I didn't say that the genocide, I don't believe I said that it started in 1947. The genocide started in 1947. Something did start in 1947, and that was Israel. And in order for the genocide to happen, there was a prerequisite. Okay? Israel had to exist in order for it to happen. That's why I was talking about the history of the country, which began in 1947. And for some reason, a lot of people, I wonder why. For some reason, a lot of people, herself included, and people in her Discord server, really, really wanted to argue with me about that. They really wanted to argue with me about the 1947 thing. They're like, oh, why are you bringing up 1947? Like, it didn't start in 1947. It didn't start then. Like, Zionism started earlier. And it's like, yeah, I know, okay? The state of Israel, the nation state, started in 1947. That is a fact. And I started there. The reason that we start there is because that's when the fucking Nakba happened. That's when they started moving Palestinians from their homes to their final destination, where they could explode them with bombs. Okay? It's It's so fucking stupid. Let's replay that. I wanna replay the mention.
To be clear, what
She
I
mentioned
actually-
me.
Also, fuck, right? Like, when I debated that one guy, like, he said the Palestinian genocide started in 1940 something, right?
Yeah, again, I may have said that the genocide. No, I didn't. I didn't fucking say that. In order for the genocide to happen, they had to move the Palestinians. Okay, there is always displacement before genocide. In Nazi Germany, you had the deportations. Okay, they started rounding people up to deport them, and they sent them to camps temporarily. That's how that started. Okay, the Israeli, the Palestinian genocide in Israel is a little different from that. Okay, but still there was displacement, which is where I started it. Okay, at the beginning. The reason that I framed it that way, it started in 1947. I did say that. I said it started in 1947. Okay, the reason I started it there is because that's when the displacement started happening. Okay, it goes back to the trains thing. Okay, she was like hung up on that. She was like, there are no trains. There are no trains. There aren't any no trains, no genocide. Look, the trains was the Nakba. They moved people during the Nakba. Yes, it happened over the course of many decades. Imagine this. Imagine if instead of rounding up Jews and deporting them and sending them to camps, not actually deporting them, but sending them to camps, instead of sending them over trains, and I've already kind of made this comparison before. Imagine if over the course of many decades, they got the Jews in the trains, and the trains moved really slowly, okay? And they took them really slowly to the camps. Okay, the trains moved slow. That would still be a genocide, right? Like, you're still moving. It doesn't matter if it takes decades. If you move them with a train over to a camp to murder them, that is ethnic cleansing. That is genocide. In the same way, the Nakba, that was the trains. Dumbass.
Hey, fuck. I mean, I guess this really supposed to be really fucking bad at genocide then.
Yeah, they're so bad
at
at
fucking
it.
genocide in history. If it took like more than almost 80 years, right, to conduct a genocide, and if anything, they still have at least like 1 million people like living inside of hundreds of thousands of people living in Israel who are Palestinians. Like, fuck.
2
Must be
million.
the worst fucking genocide ever. Like, dude, so bad at doing genocide. Maybe because they're Jewish and they are typically victims of genocide that they are bad at genocide. Maybe you can make. I don't know. Who the fuck knows? Okay.
believe is that both sides in a war, right, have reasons to break those agreements, right? I expect that of both sides.
What's the reason?
And-
What's the reason for Hamas to launch? What's the reason for Hamas to
Sorry,
launch?
but before we get to that, right? So there was another agreement between Israel and Hezbollah, right? After that conflict ended, right? That ceasefire agreement. Who was violating that ceasefire? Was Israel not bombing Lebanon after the ceasefire went into
Do you
effect?
think Israel bombing Lebanon is automatically a violation of that ceasefire?
The problem is apartheid and genocide is a red herring. It is 100% red herring because I'm gonna tell you the guys this right now. Okay, it's a red herring because the real threat here is Hamas. Okay, Hamas has tortured and killed so many Palestinians, and whenever Palestinians protest against Hamas, do you know what happens? Hamas kills them. Okay, they torture and then they kill them. No mercy. All right, it's not even debatable. Like fuck, it's not even debatable. Like, you are discrediting all the Palestinians who have suffered under Hamas. Okay. And there's a lot of Palestinians who suffer under Hamas.
They voted
who's
for 'em.
Suffering. You're erasing by claiming that you're blah 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 blah. It's just very cringe. Okay. Yeah.
No, but I think it was a violation. I think it mattered.
Palestinians have stood against Hamas. Okay, they protested against them. They've also voted for them. Okay, in 2006, they fucking voted for them. Why are they protesting against Hamas? Could it be because the Israeli government is using Hamas as justification to brutalize and blow them up? Nah, it's probably just because they know how evil Hamas is, and that's why. Yeah.
I think it just
Why
happened.
was it
Also, by the way, I'm not saying that what Israel is doing is good or correct or whatever the fuck, right? I'm sure, but the thing is, I'm just more inclined to defend them because nobody will defend them, right? Like,
so why was it a
Because of
why was
course
it a
we're supposed to.
Nobody will defend them? What? Bitch, you are watching a video of somebody defend Israel. Furthermore, all of our politicians defend the fucking country. All of them. Every single one. Not a single one of them stands against Israel. I will agree with her if she were to rephrase that differently. If she were to say, like, most people in our country are like, becoming anti-Israel or pro-Palestine. Yeah, that's kind of true. Like you're noticing with our population, all the libbed up, all the woked up libs, all the libbed up woketards are like, becoming pro-Palestinian, free Palestine. And yeah, I mean maybe she's like observing that and that's why she said that, but like it's still so fucking like out of touch. It's so stupid. It's so stupid, dude. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Nobody will defend our country has sent them $300 billion in aid. And we send them $3 billion for weapons every year. We send them $3 billion worth of weapons. Why is everybody so mad? Why are so many Americans so mad about this Israel thing? Why are they? Come on, guys. Like, don't. Why? No, you're being anti-Semitic. You're being anti-Semitic. No. Israel's a right to defend itself.
Why is it all automatically then? Why is Israel
You're fucking insane.
Under the initial terms of the agreement that brought about a ceasefire between Israel.
You know what's the ultimate form of irony? Do you guys remember when Trump posted that video of like how how Gaza could be turned into a beach resort with Netanyahu?
Yeah.
That would unironically be a better like
You are
Palestinians would
so
unironically be
fucking
under
stupid.
better rule under Trump
You are so
under a
fucking
capitalist
dumb.
beachside resort
That is insane.
than under Hamas. Like unironically. Like,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
unironically.
I'm sorry. It's just true. Okay, I'm sorry. It's just true. All right.
No. In order for Trump to take Gaza, they would have to complete the final solution. Total cultural erasure. Yeah, no, I don't think that that's better than Hamas rule or whatever. From the perspective of a Palestinian. Me, personally, I just want the killing to end. Okay, that's what I want personally. Now, I don't think that is worth any human life. I don't think that finishing the final solution is the best thing. Okay, even if it would mean an end to the killing, that would just like basically that the reason it would be better in her mind is because the killing would end. Okay, but the means don't always justify the ends. Because in order to do that, you would have to totally decimate the population of Gaza. And anyway, I don't even think Israel wants to take out Hamas. I think that they want to kill all Palestinians. So I don't think that they would allow that to happen anyway.
Well, in November, the former was to withdraw its forces from southern Lebanon by January 26th. It came and went, but Israel has refused to pull back its military, and the deadline has instead been pushed to February 18th.
Apartheid? Israel's not apartheid to say, bro. Okay, I think I saw somewhere that it isn't legally apartheid, not according to the not according to the court definition of it. However, I will say it is still functionally kind of apartheid, isn't it? because
So she acknowledges it's an apartheid. Maybe she doesn't understand that an apartheid will inevitably lead to a genocide. And look, if something is a genocide in progress, then it's a genocide, okay? What I'm trying to say here is that if you have an apartheid, it is a genocide waiting to happen. Okay, it is cultural erasure. It is ethnic cleansing. That's what apartheid is.
You have Palestinians living in Israel proper who are not able to vote, right? In my opinion, that is apartheid, okay? And then you have people, and people in the West Bank who are constantly subjected to unfair treatment.
Yeah, they get really hung up on the voting thing, and they can't fucking vote. Like, it's a fucking apartheid, and yet you continue to deny the genocide. Why? Why do you do this? Why do you have to run defense for these fucking people? They are insane. When I say Israelis are insane, they are complicit in this. They are allowing this to happen. Not the Muslim Israelis, specifically Jewish Israelis who can vote. They are complicit in this. They are allowing this to happen. They are just like the Germans in Nazi Germany. If you aren't resisting, you are complicit. Okay, if you are part of the the ruling group, if you are part of the oppressors, and you're not actively resisting against that hierarchy, then you're complicit in it. So stop fucking running defense for Israelis. Okay, I know they're people too. I know they're normal people. They're not normal. Okay, but I know they're like regular humans. And it's sad when they get killed. I don't want them to die either. But, like, what they are supporting is evil.
In my opinion, yeah, that is apartheid-ish, right? Treated like second-class citizens,
Wow.
right? Not granted the same level of treatment based off your ethnicity, right? Like, it's
Well,
not,
that is really leftist
yeah.
of you. It sounds like you
Is
are
there refugees?
pro-terrorism.
Yeah, but like, okay?
That
I
means
guess then
you
the question
support
is,
Hamas.
Could any Palestinian become like an Israeli proper person who can actually vote? Is the ones in the West Bank who can't vote, and the ones in East Jerusalem who voluntarily declined Israel ID card? Oh, okay. Okay, in that case, then I think you can argue West Bank is more apartheid than Israel proper.
Oh my
Israel has also
god.
continued to spread
Yeah, just take this ID card so that we know you and who you are and your face and where you live and all of your information and yeah. Yeah, fuck you. Also, the elections are a fucking sham. It doesn't fucking matter anyway. The fuck? They're just gonna elect the Hitlerian Netanyahu over and over. And the thing is, like, he's losing popularity, and it's because he's not going hard enough. Like, that's the worst part. Like, Israelis want him to go harder.
Bomb
Insanity.
areas in Lebanon. The mass denunciations from the latter claim that is targeting Hezbollah for violations of the ceasefire.
And yeah, the refugee thing is kind of retarded. Okay, gonna be totally honest. Okay, like you're creating the problem of the refugees that you're trying to do. It's like saying the black people in South Africa are refugees of the white people in South Africa. It's like, yeah, I just fuck. No one would say that. Okay.
Yeah, so the extensions, they pulled out slower than they initially said they would. Okay.
Okay,
But why
so
is
yeah,
them? Well, why is them bombing Lebanon? Why is
Because that is a completely different situation. Okay, yeah, there was an apartheid in South Africa. Okay, and it existed for a while. And if you think they weren't gearing up to do a genocide, you're wrong. Okay, they obviously were. But they didn't get the chance. Very sad. But yeah, anyway, South Africa was an interesting apartheid, and it's funny that she would bring it up because yeah, it's very similar to what's going on in Israel. And they were probably going to do a genocide, okay? If it weren't for Mandela, who was a terrorist, by the way. He was a terrorist. Remember
is
that.
that a violation of the ceasefire?
Because they were supposed to pull out their
Pulling
forces
out
of the
slower
ceasefire.
is also a violation.
That's a violation of itself.
Why is bombing?
Sorry,
Yeah,
hey,
I
hey,
think
hey,
it's
hey, loaner box,
no.
loaner box.
Our country considered Mandela
Okay,
a
do you
terrorist.
not read the terms? You can just read the
At
terms like a
one
one pager and like it's all there. Yeah,
If you got something to say, then say it.
the terms of the ceasefire were that if Hezbollah moved south, then it
You know, I will say, okay, Israel testing out their automated weapons programs, okay, on little Palestinian kids is probably not doesn't sound very good, okay, in the West Bank. All right, I'm just gonna be totally upfront, all right.
would firstly be expected to be the Lebanese
They're automated turrets, okay.
armies or UNIFIL's job to deal with that military moving back south.
She's fucking laughing. She's laughing about that. It wouldn't be a very good idea to do. Yeah, it looks pretty bad. Yeah, it does look pretty bad, doesn't it? So fucking disgusting.
South of
Dude.
Lithuania. However, if Israel perceived that they were not doing that, then they would have the right to strike it, and they did. They would reserve the right. Yeah, that ceasefire was like those terms were awful for Hezbollah. It basically said that Israel can bomb Lebanon if it can bomb Lebanon. Hezbollah tries to move south or tries to rebuild their defenses up in Dahia. Like it gave Israel the right to do that.
I
It's not
appreciate
like
you.
a breaking.
I appreciate you, but it is painful to me that out of all the people here, I disagree with you most. Do you know what that feels like? It's very painful.
What did I say about the terms of the ceasefire that were wrong? I'm just being descriptive of what the terms are. Did you read them? Then why are you getting so mad at me? What the fuck? Just read the terms. I don't know. Fuck. Like, and even right now, you know, like the reason that the
What are you
bombings are.
disagreeing with?
Me?
What are you disagreeing with? Yeah.
Oh, I'm very disappointed in Prime and Doobie. They're like lib-shitting the fuck out of this with really dumb lib ideas. That's not good
What?
advocacy. I don't like it. But that's a separate conversation. I'm here for you.
Oh, I thought you were saying that to Learner Box. I might have missed it.
No, I'm at Prime. I'm mad at Prime.
Oh,
Oh,
so sorry.
oh,
Just
none
lost
of us
you for
got
a
that.
reason.
Okay.
Oh,
We
you're
all
talking
missed
to me.
that.
It's fine. I thought you were yelling at Prime.
I was very
Oh.
curious too, but no, that makes well no, now I'm curious. What are you disagreeing with Prime?
I'm here for Tylee. If I want to yell at Prime, I'll just do it later.
Okay.
Prime is a lib tuck.
Liberal
So what,
centrist
do you think they made too many
Prime. Got you.
concessions?
Okay, but no, go ahead. If you have more
What, Prime
questions,
and
go
Doobie?
ahead, please.
I mean, from what when Lonerbox came in and said that Prime and Doobie were offering like that weird plan with like the UN peacekeeping and like Hamas leaving their arms but not being governmental thing. It's fine. Libs take time. They're still working through that. It's fine. Whatever.
So
Do you think Egyptians are libs?
I think Egyptians are collaborators and they're not my allies.
That's right. Those dirty
Checkmate, that's
Arab
true. They are
Jews.
libs.
I think
LCC is a
that-
massive shit lib. What are you talking about? He's an American fucking product.
Oh my god, get that Katie on J Stoke stream right fucking now, okay? She would be amazing content. Dude, she's so fucking epic, dude. She's just
for
being
the purposes
Katie.
of this conversation, I have like
What is she even saying?
refrained from
She's right about Egypt, by the way.
like take. Well, first of all, I haven't gotten to take things.
They are
where
also
I wanted to.
complicit in this.
But like,
Their
if
government
we are
is,
talking
anyway.
in terms of like the immediate response, right? As to
Kelly,
what
Katie,
should be done,
Katie,
right? Okay,
Katie.
what is
Her
your
name is
plan
Katie. Okay.
to respond to this immediate crisis? No, I'm fine with what I've said so far, right? Like, do I think Israel has a some inherent right to exist? No, actually, I don't. Not at all. Do I think that I think that states do exist.
What
beyond that,
nations
right?
do
Practical- No, no one. No states have the simple right to exist. They simply do through a matter of force, right? The United States exists because it can maintain itself.
Okay, that is fucking stupid. That's fucking crazy. So he's saying like it's like the survival of the fittest. Like if your country can't like say you're Ukraine and you can't. I'm guessing that this is what this person would say. If you're like Ukraine and you can't fight off Russia, then you just don't deserve to exist. Okay, man. No, the reason that Israel doesn't have a right to exist is because it's a genocidal apartheid state. Not because it can't, like, sustain itself on its own. Like, that's a separate thing entirely. But that is accurate, okay? Israel could not support itself without U.S. intervention. We have to send them arms, we have to send them aid, so much of it, so much money. So much fucking money. I love to remind Americans about that. Because it's true. We send them billions every year. Anyway.
If it can't maintain itself, then it doesn't exist. It simply has no divine right to its land or to
Does
anything else,
Palestine not
unfortunately. Right now, no, it doesn't, right? That's why
Well, I think she means that
why.
Palestine have a right for this.
No, it has a right.
Well, no, actually, I meant does it
Oh,
exist?
never mind. No, I was
At
wrong.
this current moment, no, it doesn't. It doesn't exist.
Sure,
It
yeah,
can't
that is a good. That is a
It does have a right to exist. Palestine was a sovereign nation. Okay. And its sovereignty was violated by Zionists. That's what happened.
That's a good point. And you know, I'm sure he'll walk it back, or not walk it back, but he'll say, well, no, in the same way that no state has right to exist. But people talk all the time about, oh, I don't want this ethno-state Israel.
Oh no, is he like one of these people who are like anti-statehood? Dude, they're like literally some of the worst people to ever talk to ever, okay? Like these, dude, these ANCAPs who are like anti-statehood is so cringe, dude. We just debate over ideas, okay? We use the non-aggression principle, and then they're willing to they're willing to throw the nearest cock for coconuts.
While supporting an ethno-Palestinian state. Like, I'm anti-nationalism,
no,
I support
Who is
Palestinian
supporting
nationalism.
an
I
ethno-Palestinian?
recognize
Yeah.
that my two interlocutors here
I'm fine with a.
have encountered this before and know how to.
I
You'll
can
question, but
guarantee you,
it's
Prime,
displayed
and Prime will speak to himself for himself, but Prime does not support an ethno-state of Palestinians like Israel is. Okay, that's not
That's what it would
he-
be.
There's again with that's what it would be. That's a different thing. I don't support an ethno-state for Palestinians. I don't want to knock off Israel, but for Palestinians.
Which,
don't believe in-
It's so fucking stupid to talk about an ethno-state for Palestinians. Okay, why? Because of what Palestine was. Palestine was a country that was not just a bunch of Palestinian. It wasn't a fucking Palestine. It wasn't an ethno-state. Okay, it wasn't. It wasn't. There was no ruling ethnicity. Okay, Palestinians were a majority of them were Muslim, but they allowed Jewish people to live amongst them, vote with them, participate in the government. And Christians as well, but there weren't as many Christians there. I don't think. But yeah, Like, there's no such thing. There never has been a Palestinian ethno-state, and it's unrealistic to assume that if Palestine were free, that's what would happen. They would form a fucking ethno-state. Are you stupid? Are you fucking stupid? That's not what they had before. You can't assume that they're just gonna make one. I'm not even saying that they wouldn't. I don't know. But they don't even have the choice. They don't have the choice on whether or not to form an ethno-state, okay? Because they are currently being genocided.
Ethnic group,
Self-determination.
which ethnic group do you think
I
Palestinians
do.
would
I'm
prefer?
just not as racist enough to think that them having self-determination means that they'll make an ethno-state like Israelis did. That's all.
What if they say it?
She's right.
No.
You don't believe that they deserve the right to self-determination.
No, they deserve the right of self-determination all the way. It just doesn't mean that I'll support their government the same way that I don't support Israel's.
What if it's not the government? Again,
What
if it's like
Foodshops?
people, right? Just
Come
like,
on.
what if the will of
Come on,
people
say
is
it.
to live amongst themselves, to have an entirely
tired?
Palestinian state?
That's fine. A lot of countries have a lot of wills. I can think that's cringe.
I don't understand why Foodshops. Why do you talk about this? Why? Why? Like, does your audience, do they care this much? Like, I mean, I know that they care, but like, is it because of your audience or like what? Because like, you seem like you don't really enjoy like watching this shit, and it must be exhausting to constantly like have your points dissected and dismantled right in front of you, but you keep doing it anyway.
So you
I
just
think we,
think it's
I
don't know if
don't
it's
know
like
why.
crystal balling or anything to just say that, like, if Palestine becomes a state, the only group that's getting to be the majority in that state is Palestinians, right? I don't even know if one Jew would be allowed in that state anytime soon. No? Maybe Chomsky.
no, Loner Box, that's very racist of you to assume.
Yeah, no.
It is
But-
racist.
Yeah, and it is racist, and oh, she's got something to say. Let's hear it, and then I'll explain.
It's okay to be a little racist. Okay? I'm just gonna say it. Alright, as somebody who has been anti-Semitic, alright, and is still anti-Semitic, I can say I'm completely justified, okay? Every single
Oh.
time I have to argue with
Oh,
Egghead in the
really?
past, I can just feel my anti-Semitism level rising, okay? Alright? Every single time he's like, actually, the definition of that word isn't how you're using it. You're not using the correct definition of that word. Die, okay? Oh, go to Auschwitz right now. Okay, stop. Okay, cringe. Okay, stop. Listen, I'm just different with Egghead, okay?
For you to assume. Yeah, because
Hold on. No, Prime, are you being serious right now?
yeah, I'm being fucking serious.
So what she did there is something that I see Republicans do all the time, but not as much self-proclaimed like leftist thinkers or whatever. What she did is called hate signaling. It's like the opposite of virtue signaling. Okay, you're like, I'm a terrible person, I'm awful, and it's great, and it's awesome. Okay, yeah, no, being racist is bad. I know, controversial statement. I know, but racism equals bad, not good. Not good. Racism bad. And anyway, it is racist to say that Palestinians would turn around and form an ethno-state. That, I mean, first of all, it's just delusional. Like, it's like, what evidence do you have of this? How could you know that? How the fuck could you know that? And also, this is a classic thing that Nazi sympathizers, genocidal freaks, this is what they do, okay? They will say, in any genocide where you have people supporting it, they will say, if we don't do it to them, they're going to turn around and do it to us. That's how it works. That's what will happen, okay? That will definitely happen, okay? That's what they're going to say. That's what they always fucking say. That's what the Nazis said. It's literally what the Nazis said. They were like, yeah, Jews want to kill us all, and if they had the chance, they would be putting us in camps. No, the reality is that when the genocide ends, when the dust settles, nobody is going to turn around and, like, the Palestinians aren't going to start genociding Israelis. That is, again, delusional. It is delusional to think
You're being
that.
Actually,
serious
yeah.
that it's
And it's
to
racist.
assume that if Palestine were to take over,
It's racist because you are saying that Palestinians are evil, they are savages, and they want to do this. They want to do it too. That's why it's okay for us to genocide them
They
because
keep
they
their
want to do
statehood,
it
Israel
too.
lays down its arms and disbands, and Palestinians get their statehood. That it's racist.
YouTube, I disavow. Okay, I was kidding. I was joking. Disavow. Don't J-stuff me. Okay, don't J-stuff me. Okay.
To assume that Jews would be allowed to Jews wouldn't
That
be
would be too
allowed
much.
to live there, right?
We're
Or at least
traumatized.
not as first
Yeah, just like it was
How do you-
racist to assume. I'll say it again.
How do you
I'm
say
gonna
from the-
let me
no, hold
respond to
on,
what you just said.
Answer my question. I'm really curious.
Yeah, just like it was racist to assume that African Americans would genocide white Americans in the United States. Right? As soon as we let them out of chains, right, that they would slaughter white Americans. It was racist to assume that black South Africans would genocide the white South Africans. Right? Like the conflicts happen all the time.
What the fuck? Can groups of people not do things ever? Like, can we really just not make a prediction for anything? Like, what is he even saying? It's racist to assume a group of people would do this one thing. What are you talking about? That's literally how we make any
Boom.
kind of determination
You're welcome.
for policy ever, right? Like, what is even the point of studies and laws and like targeting groups of people for benefits? What is even the point then? Like, what's the point of giving out welfare benefits if we're not like targeting specifically poor black people? Like, fuck. Like what is he like? What the fuck is he even talking about? Why shouldn't we assume group behavior? Like groups tend to move in certain directions. Like, why shouldn't we be able to assume? Dude, oh my, dude, get me out. This is why I have to meme, all right? This is why I have to meme and joke around, all right? Because if I don't meme and joke around, I'm gonna drive myself insane. Like, I don't think, no, I have to meme. I just have to meme, okay? I have to meme my way through commentary, okay? I can't give serious commentary on this because it'll just, fuck, like,
Okay,
Right?
can I
Like,
respond?
You know what's more racist? No, fuck you.
Yeah, you can't give serious commentary because well, I think that you just don't like know this conflict well enough to argue for the side that you're arguing for. But yeah, anyway, group behavior, or what the fuck ever, it can be racist, it can be not racist, okay, sure. What you're saying is racist, okay? If you are saying that Palestinians will turn around and genocide Israelis once this genocide is over, once the apartheid ends, you are racist. That is a racist thing to say. Of course it is. It's Islamophobic.
I'm bulleting you one way, okay? Quickly. Do you know what more racist is hearing?
Well, sure, but like, okay, you can make a determination on whether or not like you can do like whether or not a group of people can do something and make a decision based off of that. But that doesn't mean that you should use that reasoning in order to enforce discrimination onto other people, right? Like, for example, even just because a lot of black people commit more crimes doesn't mean that you should, be bad to the nearest, black person near you, right? Yeah, but however, would you increase the presence of
Black
police in
people
black
don't
neighborhoods
commit more
because you know
crimes.
that information? You can make an argument for and against that, right? Like, fuck. I mean, it can be a self-fulfilling prophecy because you're sending a bunch of police there, so therefore, crime report rates will go up inadvertently, right? However, at the same time, obviously, you want to put more, police there because you know more crime is going to come in there. You want them to respond fast enough to protect people's property and lives, right? Like, fuck. Like, this. Stop. Okay. People need to die. Okay. No. Okay. Don't say that. Okay.
She's comparing the situation in Gaza to over-policing in black neighborhoods, which is not a perfect comparison, and she's like, twisting it to like fit her worldview, but it is a comparison that you can make. Okay, you can make that comparison. Like, yeah, if you assume that Israel is the police and Palestinians are the oppressed, then yeah,
Okay,
you
whatever.
could say
Group
that.
and have its most
I
popular
don't really
faction
see how that
literally say
helps
what they want to
you
do,
with your
demonstrate
point,
that they would
though.
do it, not
I'm moved for debates about sanity. Dude, don't say it. Come on.
even too recently. And then for
Like it- like
Is she like justifying over policing? That's kind of what she was doing. She was like playing both sides with it. This person just
Like,
really
it does
likes
say
to
over and over again,
play
they want to
both
genocide
sides.
Palestinians.
It's
However,
called
I
mansplaining.
can
It's
look
called
at
mansplaining.
Israelis. I don't assume that. Come on, you're not going to blow me over. You both-
Foodshops, it's just like Chuck D said, okay? If you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything.
So lost control,
So I
gang.
think
I've lost
Israelis-
control.
So I would not assume of Israelis, right, to be incapable of peace, right? So it's not going to happen.
Instead of people donating money to WIC, do you know who they should donate to? They should donate to me instead, okay? All right? Fuck WIC, okay? All right, he's not even being a proper content creator. When's the last time he even made a video, okay? All right, donate to me instead.
Right? So I'm not going to do the racist thing. I'm not going to say that Israeli Jews are incapable of listening to their better angels, right? I'm not going to say that Palestinians are some.
Fuck. Okay, we have other content to get to, but this is taking up all of our time. Let me see. What is this?
I got
Destiny
all
Report
night.
2. Wow, that's just great. Who does Shaylin fantasize about? Mr. Girl, Mr. Girl, Mr. Girl. Okay, this is what we're currently watching right now. Docket. What is this? Oh, protests versus riots. Is vandalism and looting justified? Wait, another WikTV panel. Okay, fuck. That's another WikTV panel.
Yeah, true.
Oh my goodness.
Yo! Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the one gifted. Okay, thank you so much for the one.
I think I've seen that
gifted
clip before.
membership, Ari. I appreciate that. Thank you. Much appreciated. Oh, Mr. Girl. Okay, I guess we'll have a Mr. Girl day tomorrow and finish this up tomorrow, maybe? Because I don't think we're finishing this today, but like, I mean,
Genocide. These numbers. There are going to be factions within these groups that will have those
I can go to sleep without recommending it. Okay.
intentions, and that will never change. Absolutely.
The problem-
A Mr. Girl night. Haha. Yeah. I mean, we had a Mr. Girl night before. It was fun. Okay. I enjoyed going through modern day Mr. Girl clips. Okay, and Mr. Girl videos. All right. Really goes to show how Destiny's biggest hater. Okay, of all time. How much more deranged she has gotten. Okay.
Here,
but that doesn't mean that.
hold on. The other incidences that you have mentioned, such as with Black African Americans were enslaved, when you had South African, you had a
Foodshops,
majority
you
of the
look
people in these
tired,
states
dude.
asking to live in peace with the native population, live in peace with
You
other people
good?
in the population, whether it be American citizens. They just wanted to be seen as people. In the Israel and Palestine conflict, you do not have that. Palestinians
I had a
and
response to
Hamas
that, right?
specifically.
It was a lovely
I'll
night.
let you respond in a second. Let me
Don't
finish.
call that
Palestinian
concern trolling.
leadership.
Would you rather be stuck in a room with Mr. Girl or J-Stock?
She really does look terrible. I gotta say.
Ooh, probably J-Stock. Okay, J-Stock probably couldn't physically like actually fight me. Okay. All right. But Mr. Girl, dude, wasn't this guy like a professional like fitness trainer before all this? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, pretty sure
This
this guy
is
was a
so
professional fitness
irrelevant.
That's not our goal. We don't want that. We want to
Okay,
expel
so wait, yeah, I had a response, and I said it multiple times during the debate, but Zionists, of course, want to ignore these things. When we were talking about
Intro stream.
these conflicts, right? Like ending these conflicts. It isn't, hey, we end things tomorrow, right? And we put it in a state the next day, right? And well, from the opinion polls, I guess it's not going to work, right?
Yeah, but you have to keep in mind J-Stock is like a sub. Okay, like he's like a soft like fucking beach ball. Like this guy is literally like an oval. Okay, so
Like that, no matter what the conflict, whether
I'll be
it's a
fine.
military conflict, even if it's a societal conflict, at some point in time, right, you would have been true to say, well, the polls say that, heterosexuals will never accept homosexual marriage, right? So why even bother? I mean, we put that in place today, right? You might have riots.
No, homosexuals are
no, I'm
asking
going
people
to finish your
Wait,
question, right?
wait,
So this is
hold
hold on. Let me finish. So this is talking about in small conflicts like that, right? Or in bigger conflicts. Right now, when there is belligerence, when there is bombs falling and famine happening and villages being bulldozed, fuck yes, they're going to say they hate each other. Absolutely will, because that's the only natural thing to do. Yeah, I hate the people who are doing this to me. However, right? That doesn't mean that within a longer time frame, when we're putting in a peace process and both sides are actually making small steps, right, concrete steps to increase that when we give people.
But that's not even happening, Prime. But that's not even happening. Hamas is not doing that. Okay, Hamas is not doing that. What the fuck are you saying? Like, I agree with you if that was happening.
They've put forward peace agreements. They've literally put forward peace agreements, which were later codified, which were later the terms of these peace deals were agreed to by Israel after, like, I think a year? Like a year after they put it forward, Israel was like, okay, we'll agree to a ceasefire. And then you know what happened? They broke it. Not even a week later. They fucking broke it again. How surprising. Israel is like your abusive, narcissistic ex. Okay, they beat you and then they play the victim. Then they start crying.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my god.
They.
Option for peace, they don't take that peace, right? There isn't nothing inherent to Palestinians that say that they hate Jews, that they want to exterminate Jews. And the same way from Jews to Palestinians, right? These people aren't inherent. I don't essentialize them because I'm not a fucking racist. So that's why.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. Dude, I'm about to let loose the end. Okay, I'm literally about to let loose the end. Okay, alright, it's not stop. I'm not.
Sorry, no one is centralized. I don't think it's in Palestinian DNA to not want to share power with it. You just
Yeah,
projected
but
that
pretty
on
much.
me.
But
I like
there's
it.
no
No,
choice.
it's not
In
pretty
the end,
much.
it would just
It's
be
not pretty
inevitable.
much. Okay, so for example, you're saying that for in our debate that you were up for Israel getting pressured by international sanctions and like a level of isolation to push them towards accepting equality and like one person one vote with Palestinians. You said that earlier, no?
I did indeed.
Okay. Do you think Palestinians should be pressured by the international community to accept living as one person one vote with Israelis?
Once they get their own state.
They can be pressured now. They get
No,
international aid
once
from
they
different
get their
organizations.
own
What are you talking
fucking
about?
state, then you can pressure them.
Okay, so only one side needs to get pressured. Okay, interesting.
Side with a fucking state, you coward. Come on.
Why is that cowardly? What are you talking about? Like, what? So
You are
we should,
so.
so we should pressure Israel to one person one vote, and the Palestinians can reject it, and then we just
You are
like
smart
wait from
enough to
there.
understand the difference between having a state on an international stage and not having a state. It's not that complicated. I know you're smart enough
This is crazy. What?
to grasp that. So
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
when,
yeah.
when the situation is asymmetrical, the international response should also be asymmetrical. If you
I
want
didn't
to
say it should be
equalize it,
symmetrical.
go fucking ahead.
I didn't say you should be symmetrical. I'm just saying like it's not impossible to pressure a non-state.
I
was
didn't
trying
say
to
that
think.
it's
I
not
wanna-
Panels are
impossible.
working.
I said that you want to do it now, and I said, of course you do. It's more convenient for Zionists if you do so. Give them a state, then you can do all the fucking little international mumbo jumbo too.
Okay, so this is still qualifies as LARPing in the West.
Definitely
I
still
know Korea's
qualifies. Thank you, Miss American. I
Katie's Israeli.
appreciate that you accept my
I
laughing.
also heard her take grave.
Oh god, dude. Can someone just please stop Katie from laughing? Okay? Like, god, just just please stop. Stop.
offense to being
Can a
referred to as
woman
member of the
live?
tribe and completely denounce her
Katie's Jewish, right? She's not just Jewish. She's Israeli.
Jewishness.
Yes.
So this idea that like, oh no, she's really
Hold on,
funny,
so
she's Israeli. She doesn't
Katie lived in Israel like literally
recognize
2 years
her
ago, and Katie lived in Israel a few years ago, and she had the same thoughts, right? So
Talk about
nothing.
my history with someone who's confused about my Western LARPing. I get my points with my Western LARPing without invoking my Israeli card, okay?
Okay, fair enough.
I want
Okay,
to-
that's a waste
I
of
want-
time.
I want-
Sure, no, I will answer your question.
Yeah.
I'm with Katie that when responding to
force the
hold on,
two states into
hold on,
something.
listen, hold on. Let me understand. So I'm with Katie when, on the terms of when facing a conflict with asymmetrical warfare, right? One party is so much stronger than the other that our response is to be asymmetrical. But that being said, right, maybe even before, like as a condition of further of a peace treaty, right, we can impose that hey, like there should be one person, one vote. I believe that's what you asked.
So
That's
yes.
Prime, that's
Palestinians
colonizer behavior, wanting equality in a state, okay? That's colonizer
No.
shit.
Hold on,
Yes,
hold on,
Palestinians-
hold on. I'm getting a little angry because none of us here want inequality. What we are arguing about is how best to
Wait, you're not even part of the debate.
achieve equality. In my argument, and I won't speak for the others, but as long as Hamas exists as a power, there will be no equality. There will be war upon war upon war. Advocating for Hamas to exist is advocating for the Palestinian people to be.
Wick. Israel, the ethno-state, existed before Hamas, baby.
Yes, and let me ask you this. If Hamas didn't exist, would October 7th have happened? And if October 7th
Why does that
happened,
have
would
anything to do with
Israel
the point you
be
just
in
made?
Gaza right now?
What does that have anything to do with the point you just made? You talked about inequality.
Okay, yes, when we're talking about inequality, we can recognize that there are differences in levels of inequality. We can say there's some inequality in certain situations, but much more inequality in others.
That's a really good point. So this guy is saying, inequality, it will always be unequal when Hamas exists. But Hamas didn't exist back then. Was it equal before Hamas? Was it equal? Yeah, I don't think so, man. I think it was an apartheid back then, too. So how the fuck can you say that once Hamas is dead, suddenly Israel is going to be an equal state? Okay, where all people are equal, regardless of ethnicity or creed or religion. Oh yeah, you can't say that because that wouldn't fucking happen because it's delusional. Fucking dumbass.
And so to reduce the inequality to as little as possible, I want the conditions, the realistic conditions on the ground that will reduce the inequality to
You
as
think
little
it's
as
actually
possible.
realistic to be against ethno-states? I know it hurts you as a Zionist.
Hold
Sorry.
on, I am not.
It's colonizer behavior.
That because I don't want to kill all the Jews in Israel, that I'm a Zionist. It's crazy.
You're right, Wick. It's
This is
me,
why-
the
this is why
Israeli
Zionist-
Jewish lady that all their family is in Israel. That wants to kill
Yeah, I can't believe he just said that to her. That is that's wow. Wow. If you missed that, okay, he basically just said you want to kill all Jews in Israel. That's what you want because you love Hamas. He said this to a Jewish Israeli person. Let's run that back.
be against
Let's do that
ethno-states.
again.
I know it hurts
love
you as a
that.
Zionist.
Hold
Sorry.
on, I am not.
It's colonizer behavior.
That because I don't want to kill all the Jews in Israel, that I'm a Zionist. It's crazy.
You're right, Wick. It's
This is
me,
why-
the
this is why
Israeli
Zionist-
Jewish lady that all their family is in Israel that wants
you
to
are
kill all
advocating
Jews in
would
Israel. You
naturally
got me. You
result
got me.
in
It's
that.
me. You got me.
I may not
Wait,
want
yeah.
to die when I jump out of the plane without a parachute.
Yeah,
That doesn't happen. If I
The
do,
Palestinians, we'll slaughter them all, right? Yeah, and we're the racists. Nice try.
So again,
Nice try, Wick.
Lonerbox never even made this claim.
You're
This is where
jumping
trying
out
to
of
claim
a
that it's some
plane
racist
without a
position that we're taking because we
parachute.
believe the Palestinians do not want to live in a state
Okay.
with Jews. We are not saying that they're bloodthirsty, that they're born-hating Jews, that it is some unchanging, immutable fact of Arabs or Palestinians. No, we're saying they don't want to live in a state with Jews, and if they have control over some single state, it's very likely that Jews will not be allowed to live there. I'm not even saying
Oh my god, but dude, they don't Israel doesn't allow Muslims. They already don't do that. Okay, so like you're holding Palestinians to a standard that you're not even like, okay, say that shit about Israel then. And anyway, it's so fucking wrong to say that because there was a Palestinian state a long time ago. And guess what? Jews could live there and they could vote. Crazy, I know.
suggesting that it would necessarily lead to genocide or pushing the Jews to the sea or anything like that, but there is an Arab nationalist affinity among the Palestinian population. This is
Do we agree with that affinity, Prime? Do we agree that if such affinity exists in the majority of Palestinians, which I don't necessarily agree, but let's say for the sake of argument that the majority of Palestinians, including all of their leadership,
Bro, how could you... Dude, I promise you within the week of the walls coming down, Netanyahu's family, his extended family, will all be lynched on the streets. I guarantee it. It's like... Katie is terrible, obviously, but can she be saved? Okay, are you an effeminate fat man? If you're an effeminate fat man, she can be saved.
want a Palestinian state.
Anyway, I kind of agree with that. I wouldn't want to see... Look, Netanyahu, he would fucking deserve it. Not his family, okay? Not his family. I don't know his family. I don't know what they're like. Okay, but Netanyahu is literally a war criminal. In any just society, he would be tried and executed for his crimes. Maybe not executed, okay? Maybe imprisoned indefinitely, re-educated, whatever. I don't know. Don't care. Don't care. Something, he would either go to prison or be executed in any fair society. So, yeah, I mean, maybe she's right. Maybe that would be a fucking good thing if Netanyahu were killed by the oppressed, by the people that he is leading a genocide against right now. I've said this before, I do not advocate for violence at all. I don't want it to happen, okay? Not even Netanyahu. I don't even want him to die. But if I were to want someone to die, yeah, I mean, it'd be him. He's
With the
first on the
Palestinian
list,
majority.
man.
Do we agree it's exactly the same as with Israel?
But again, I don't...
Yeah, and I
Yes,
totally
yes,
support
no,
a
I
Palestinian
disagree,
state
yeah.
with a Palestinian majority.
I can see that it'll be
No,
different.
I know.
I can see
And ethno-states are bad. I get
I
it.
can-
No,
I can see- I can see it in the-
Were you
I-
talking? Maybe I didn't understand the question. Because are you saying in a one-state situation? Like, what are you?
No,
Hold on, maybe flesh out how you disagree.
We're talking about a
Like,
Palestinian state, so you're saying a Palestinian state would be the same.
And specifically, what I'm saying is that even if that did happen, even if Netanyahu were murdered, I would still say that that's wrong. I would maintain that. Okay, that's still wrong. It's fucked up. That'd be a fucked up thing to do. But if he were arrested and then tried for his crimes and then executed, I would probably be more like, oh yeah, that's awesome. Like, that's sick as fuck. Because truly, that's what should happen to him. That's what he deserves. He's a
no, I
fucking
can see that it would be
Hitler.
different. There's no fucking
He's
way a Palestinian
another
state would allow
Hitler.
20% of the population to be Jewish. Absolutely not.
racist.
Okay.
What the fuck?
There's no fucking way a Palestinian state would allow 20% of the population to be Jewish. Absolutely not.
Racist.
Okay.
There's no way a Palestinian state would allow 20... What? What? Jews made up approximately 31.5% of the total population of Mandatory Palestine. This was after several waves of Jewish immigration between 1920 and 1948. Yeah, I knew this too. Under the British mandate, they didn't have a representative democratic system. Instead, the British administered the territory directly and established separate communal institutions for Jews and Arabs. Oh, interesting. I actually didn't know that. Huh. Oh, yeah. The Jewish Agency. Yeah. That was the governing body for the Jewish community there. In an elected assembly called the Vad Leumi, which handled internal affairs like education and health. Arabs, meanwhile, had the Arab Higher Committee, though it was not formally recognized in the same way. Oh, So Jews could vote and participate in elections without their own communal structures? There were no general elections for a unified Palestinian government under the mandate. The British largely avoided establishing such a system, fearing it would inflame tensions between the two communities. Very interesting, Foodshops. Look, my message to you is just stop talking about this. Just stop making videos about it. You're going, like, I don't know. There's a lot of shit up in the air right now, a lot of misinformation going around. But when the dust settles, if people look back at your videos, which they probably won't, but if they do, you're going to look like a fool. So my advice is to just stop talking about it. Don't talk about it on stream. Don't post any more fucking videos about it. You just look stupid. That's it.